Have you found yourself buying things that you don't really need, or you realize later that you didn't actually need, or ending up with duplicate subscriptions and just buyer's remorse because FOMO gets to you? If so, today's episode is going to be perfect for you. I'm answering a question I got from a client a couple weeks back about what do I do? Because I keep doing this and I know I need to stop and it's going to improve so many things when I stop and I don't know how to stop. So here we go. Welcome back to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Amy Circa. Today we are answering a client's question. So what she said was, I find myself signing up for courses, buying business-related stuff, having FOMO that I'll miss something that I need. It's resulted in me being overburdened with courses to complete, pay for, too many subscriptions for stuff possibly unneeded. Help. I can't stop this. I can't do this. What do we need to do? Because I need to be able to break free from this, right? That's the vibe we got here. And if you're feeling like this, clearly you're not alone because, this was a client that submitted this, but I want to start with that. You're not alone. There's so many times that we get sucked into this. And we're going to talk a little bit about how do you navigate that? There's going to be some tactical tools, and we're going to bring in we'll stick with the tactical tools. Okay. So what do you do if you find yourself buying things that later you realize you didn't actually need? Part of this is we have to be able to understand and know we have all the pieces. We have all the things. Because often when FOMO shows up for us like that and we end up buying things that we don't actually need, we feel like we're missing a piece of the puzzle, right? And we're trying to fill that piece, whatever it might be. It might be this new strategy you haven't tried. It might be a new tactic. Oh, it's this perfect script that's going to unlock everything, right? That's not how it works. First off, there's not one way to build your business. And this applies to your personal side as well. So if you tend to do this on the personal side versus the business side, just same type thing, right? But there's not one way to build your business. There's so many different strategies out there and they all work. They all work. It's which one works for you because again, it's your money, your business, your life. Okay, side note, business was in my son's school lesson or spelling lesson today and we were talking about this. Did you know that business is the base word of business is busy? No idea. Completely mind blown, crazy moment. I was like, hey, no, but we build our business in ways that we don't want to be so busy. But it was really funny because I asked William, he was like, oh, that makes sense. And I was like, why? Do you feel like I'm busy? And he said that, yes, that he felt like I was busy and that was why it was accurate. So funny moment, didn't know, total sidetracked. Okay. Anyways, back to it. There's so many different ways to run a business. Now, there's things that we can do and things that we can optimize, but really your business is going to show up. Your business is going to take off when you step into the alignment. The FOMO shows up when we feel like we're missing something. And this goes back to owning your personal power, hearing your personal power, listening to yourself. So we've talked before about I don't do the fast action bonuses that you have to take action within 24 hours. This is we edited the welcome email sequence that you get whenever you join. And it's hey, we're going to talk about these are my 3 main core offerings. I want to let you know that they're here. This is not hey, you need to buy it now, but I want you to know now so you can have time to sit with it. So the first step of getting out of the FOMO, there has to be a trust in yourself that you can sit with it, that you can sit and not take action right now, even if there's only 5 spots left, even if there's whatever it might be, whatever the fast action thing is. If it's not a decision, if it's not something that you were looking for already, sit for a minute, take a step back. Is this something that I really need? Is this something that I really want? Maybe it's a lead generation script for LinkedIn and you don't want to be on LinkedIn. Okay, are we just getting on LinkedIn because we have to get on LinkedIn? Because there's not really a have to there. And this is something that's way easier just to like, hey, take a step back, sit there and reflect. Like, ask yourself, learn to trust yourself, learn to listen to your gut. Those things, I can tell you that all day long. Doing it, that's another skill. Like, it's a habit that we have to build and retrain ourselves because we're in such that instantaneous society. Everything's so flashy and we've stopped listening to ourselves because of judgment, shame, fear, guilt, rejection, whatever our core wound is, right? We all have them. So we start doing things because it's like, oh, I don't want to look bad. What if I miss out? What if I do this? That also comes from a place of like that you can be behind and you're exactly where you need to be at in your journey. All the things that have happened, all the choices you've made, all the air quotes mistakes that you've made have brought you to where you are now. And if you weren't where you are now, you wouldn't be able to do what you were called to do in the future. So that, like, we also have to stop beating ourselves up for these mistakes, air quotes again, these choices that we've made. And some of them might be uncomfortable. I was listening to a training a couple days ago, and they were talking about, like, some people will say, like, hey, it's painful. And the comment was, well, I chose this. And if I chose this, I'm not going to call it pain. I'm going to call it discomfort because I made this choice. And sometimes things are really freaking uncomfortable. Things are really uncomfortable. And they can be hard. But every step, when you can learn to trust yourself, when you can do those things and understand and make choices from a clear space, not from like, okay, this is what I should do, all head knowledge, right? You, internal, gut, heart. I'm like losing the camera here for those on YouTube. When you can trust yourself there and you're not operating out of the head knowledge, because we can do that with the FOMO too. It's like, oh, I should do this. Oh, this should work. This should be better. I should be farther along. All the shoulds. When we can remove that and stand in what you know, the FOMO slips away. And it's so freeing. This is something that there was quite a few times. Like, there would be a program and I would want to like move forward, maybe jump into like in a more advanced program with a coach, and I couldn't do it. And it was like, what's wrong with me? This is a theme. We were talking about this. I didn't even think I was going to share these stories. What's wrong with me? I should be able to do this. I'm going to be missing out. I'm going to be behind if I can't do it now. But when you can truly let go of that and know that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because the way that things are supposed to work out, they're going to work out. There's a trust in myself. There's a trust in my creator and God. Like, I know that this is going to work out. And that belief in yourself, again, the energetics and the embodiment and so many of those things. And I know we haven't talked step-by-step strategy in a while. The practical, like, step-by-step strategy on like the way that we've exercised this for years is the 24-hour rule, because it's a little bit step away. Again, you're not making that instantaneous decision, which, you know, we've got tripwires set up on our lead magnet pages and those things. And it's like, wait, no, like, I can't do that. Again, if you feel it in your knowing, gut, not head, that would be different. But otherwise, like, trust in the fact that if it's supposed to be for you, it's going to work out later. Even if it's at a higher price point, it's going to work out the way that it's supposed to work out. But the 24-hour rule is the practical application. So if some of this is just like, that is out there, Amy, you lost me, just start with the 24-hour rule, okay? Set a dollar amount. If things are tight, set a lower dollar amount. If you're really trying to build this muscle, I'd still set a lower dollar amount. Like, you could do $25 even, which doesn't buy a whole lot right now, right? But the example I always use is 100. So we'll stick with that. Anything $100 or more, before you purchase it, you have to wait 24 hours. I don't care if it's on sale. I don't care if they only had 3 spots available. It doesn't matter. You have to wait 24 hours before you make the purchase. What that does is it gives you the space to kind of take the step back. And if it's something that you really want and you truly want it, it wasn't just like that dopamine hit, wasn't like the oxytocin, like, oh, I feel good about myself thing, then you're still going to want it in 24 hours. But if it wasn't something that you truly wanted, wasn't something that you truly needed, you give just enough, just a little bit of space to step back and be like, okay, no, like I didn't really need that. I don't really feel like that's something that I'm missing, something that I'm looking for. I don't feel like it's going to benefit me. And you can make that informed decision then. The only exception we talk about to the 24-hour rule is if you set the intention ahead of time before it goes live. If you're like, I am, and this is really how I approach bundles, so this might be a good thing to do. So when I'm looking at bundles, if you don't know what a bundle is, it is a group collection of paid products that a group of business owners will get together and they'll make available for free or sometimes a low cost or like a flat fee, typically about a week or so that it'll be available. Okay. So when I go to look through the bundles, there's tons of resources in there. And I'm sure a lot of them are absolutely fantastic, but I don't go through and download a bunch of stuff that I know I don't need in a bundle. When I go to look through a bundle, I'll set the intention beforehand. Like, hey, this is an area that I feel like I can improve. This is an area that I would like some more resources in. This is something that I'm looking for. And then I'm intentionally looking through the bundle to find like, oh, look, there's those Pinterest templates that I was looking for. That'll be great. Oh, this will talk about the website copy. I was going to update that. This is what this is. And I can find the resources. And sometimes, you know what? The resource that I'm looking for isn't in that bundle, which is fine. Because again, I know it's going to show up when it's supposed to show up, and I still just kind of keep an eye out. We set that expectation, which we're going to talk about that probably into December when we start talking goal setting and some of those things. No, that time of year, right? But how we set the intention, and this is really how manifestation works, because we're looking for the things that we want without getting so focused on it. All right. Think we covered enough for today. If you find yourself buying things out of FOMO or having duplicate subscriptions, the duplicate subscriptions we can get really tactical about. Execution Lab would be a great place to be if that is something that's showing up for you, because we have that as a monthly task. I give you a specific task. That way you don't, if you don't have something to work on when you show up to Execution Lab, you've got something to work on because I'm giving you something to do, right? And then if you can't make it live, you've got a task for the month. So win-win. If one of those things are showing up, send me a message on Instagram. Let's chat through it, see if we can help you move forward. If you've still got questions after this, always love to hear feedback, etc. The podcast is officially 3 years old. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so thankful that you're here. I love doing this, but you are the part that makes it work. So thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Are you tired of not seeing consistent cash flow? What if you could stop wasting countless hours working on the wrong things only to leave yourself more frustrated than you started? All without jumping from strategy to strategy just to try to find one that works, and without requiring a week of reflection or a time audit because you don't have time to do the things that you need to as it is. My cash flow calculator might be perfect for you. This assessment style calculator reveals your blind spots and what you're missing so that you can finally see consistent cash flow month after month. So grab my cash flow calculator absolutely free and unlock the right work that you're probably already doing in order to finally see consistent cash flow month after month. It's only going to take 90 seconds and you don't need to know any of your numbers to actually do this. Then, as a bonus, there's a special way you can get me to give you feedback on your results. Simply go to amycirca.com/cashflow to access, and of course, that link is hanging out in the description for you.